All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to season one of the Typo podcast. And today we are joined with.
KingMLG here, guys. My name is Sander, or KingMLG as you might have known. I've been on YouTube for a while, but I'm kind of inactive now, but you might remember me at least.
So, how long have you been doing YouTube for?
Uh, I started on May 23rd or 25th in 2015 actually, but that was my actual channel like right now. But before that, I posted some videos on the old channel, but that was probably like 2014-ish, something like that. But really, like actively started was like 2015 for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I also started like late 2015,
yeah.
and
I
then
started
that's
in
when I
May, so that's like
started.
middle.
Yeah, so you're in college now, right?
I am. I
Yeah,
am.
so
Yeah.
how's that going for you?
So for those of you who do not know or didn't realize yet, I'm Dutch, so I don't study in the U.S. or anything like that. So it might be a little bit different, but so I'm in the first year of college for my bachelor's degree. That's the thing I'm doing. So it's a science-based bachelor, and here I study food and dietetics. That's what I study, food and dietetics, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in the first year, and it's a 4 year long thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool so far. I study like 1.5 hours away from home, so I do have to travel like 2 to 3 hours a day, but it's pretty cool. So I really like it. So yeah.
And then you're also really big into calisthenics right now.
Yes, I
Yes.
am.
um,
So
yeah.
ask away. What do you want to know?
Is it like hard managing that with school?
Right. So here in the Netherlands, every study is different. So you have different levels of college and different things like university, college, or different types of colleges. So for me, an average week would be 40 hours, but I only have 10 hours where I actually have to go to school. So I have 30 hours that I should spend at home to study, right? So I'd say only 3 hours a day for 4 days a week. I'm kind of at school, so that's actually a little bit more like 12 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the rest, I can just be like I can be home at 12, for example, 12 p.m. or
Mm-hmm.
a.m. I don't fucking know, okay, right? Sorry. So I could be home like 1 p.m. something like that, 12 a.m. That would be. And then I could go work out. I work out with my friends, or sometimes I work out at home or at the gym at school actually too. So honestly, it's quite. I'd say it's easy to manage because I do have a lot of time, and my time management is pretty has gotten pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something where I don't like to skip out on. So it's more of a routine, like very disciplined, and I have a lot of perseverance. So for me, it's like I just do it, right? It's not like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, should I work out? It's just a fact that I'm going to, right? So the planning for me personally is very easy, but I could see why other people find it harder.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does obviously cost time, and I spend at least like 10 hours a week working out. So I understand there's also like I do have to give up other things to do so. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the
Yeah, it's funny because there's so many like calisthenic parks that I see because like of your Snapchat story,
for sure.
and
Yeah.
like here there's like none, so it's like weird.
Yeah, so let me try to emphasize on that, right? So, there's calisthenics is an up and coming thing, especially in Europe and actually countries like Egypt or Middle East or
Mhm.
Russia. It's actually really really big, like Russia and that kind of stuff. So, um, here it's really hard to get set up a park. Like the local authorities need to agree, and it takes a few years. Like you'd be surprised, it takes a few years to set something up like that. And obviously there need to be some people that are very dedicated to stick to the plan, and try find sponsors, and try to collect money to buy these parks, because local authorities here don't pay everything for it. And in some countries they do, right? I know, for example, in the countries more to the Eastern Europe, there's a lot of governments that just pay or put parks there just randomly, right? But in my country, they don't. So it's a lot of work, but I can drive, so I can go there if I want to. So that's nice. But yeah, when I wasn't able to drive, it was definitely a struggle for me. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Because I've just noticed it's just not very popular yet. So it's kind of growing,
Yeah, it's not popular here. It's like crazy. I remember because I went to Europe just recently and I saw like so many
Yeah,
calisthenic parks for sure. Is it like really
yeah.
common there for like people just to go there and like start working out?
Uh, let's just say there's different groups of people, and calisthenics is also like a branch of something. So
Mhm.
for those of you who wouldn't know what calisthenics is, it's like fitness with bars in these parks, but you have different types. So you have street workout, which is like um, it's more into the freestyling kind of stuff, which I'm not really into. It's you get injured really easily. You have calisthenics, basically your sets and reps, and then you have street lifting, which is honestly just like weighted calisthenics,
Mhm.
which I do like. But so there's different things, but calisthenics essentially is like fitness and gymnastics combined, right? So I think it's pretty cool because it's easy and it's free to do so. You only need some equipment, but hey, compared to a gym membership monthly, it's very cheap. And at the start, you don't even need this stuff either. So to come back to your question, if a lot of people do this and get into it, um, honestly, there's a lot of people that do calisthenics without even knowing them. So recently, I've seen a lot of communities trying to grow and like get all those individuals together to form groups because those groups can influence, right? A lot of people can influence, build parks, do that kind of stuff. But I think it's not that common. Like I'd say
Yeah, for
80%
sure.
at least does fitness. Yeah, but it's something that's growing, and a lot of fitness people do incorporate body weight movements because that's essentially calisthenics, right? And I think that it's growing, but there's also these people that don't really realize it. Like I see some people like jogging by or just like going for a bike ride, and they stop, do a few pull-ups, do a few dips here and there, and then they continue on with their thing, right? So uh, the trick is, I think, to build a community with those people. That I think that's what the sports essentially needs to grow. Like because then you can, set up Instagram accounts and Facebook groups, and that's when it starts growing. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think because like you have your Instagram. Is that kind of like I guess you could say like a mini blog to just like definitely keep you going to like just see like how you're increasing?
Yeah, so my Instagram, a lot of people say like, "Oh, you post so much. Why are you flexing or something?" Like, there's a lot of ways to interpret but as you guys know, I like to share my stuff. I like to share my vision. I'd say I'm a pretty uh, strong-minded individual. Like, I'm motivated. I love motivating others and inspiring something. So that's something I've done throughout my YouTube career as well. Like on stream, like life lessons, that kind of stuff. So as I got into calisthenics, I was like, hey, with the same mindset, I was like, maybe I should share this. And I'm glad I did because now I also look back and I can motivate others. And obviously, my Instagram page was just for friends, and I had like 100 people on there. But now I'm closing. I'm a little bit above 800, which is still like nothing. But hey, there's people getting motivated, people getting inspired, and people around my area too that are getting inspired. So I feel like it is a personal blog that I can look back
Hmm.
upon, but also a way of sharing my vision and my passion, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Another thing, like you said, like gym memberships, like you have to pay to go
Yeah.
in and all that stuff. Is that like some of the reasons why you really want to go to calisthenics instead of like just sticking to like maybe weightlifting or just, staying in shape? Because working out is really like the biggest passion for you. And like you do that like pretty regularly as if some people would just like maybe hit the gym
For
once,
fun, yeah.
yeah, and just like get in shape.
Yeah, so for me, I was in a very dark place. I was let's just keep it very simple. But I was depressed, and there was stuff going on online, and I couldn't take it. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I failed school because I partially decided like, hey, let's do next year over. This was back in high school, and let's take some time to find myself. And I was very into running. Like this might surprise you. I was close to half a marathon and I was only 16, right? I know this might not be that impressive, but for me, like as a person that was never into sports, it was a pretty big deal. Like I was just running for fun. I never talked about it and I was able to run half a marathon. I did it once, right? Unfortunately, in my country, you need to be 17 to sign up to officially run one. So, and by that time, I had quit. But I was losing weight. Like I was always, I kind of looked at my body and I was like, I'm not really happy, but I do work out, right? I run, right? I saw it as working out, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should, this is like cardio. I'm losing weight, and I was like 6 foot, and I was like, I think like 125 pounds or something like that, like 140 pounds ish. Like I'd say like 140 pounds. So I was very skinny and tall and like a stick, right? And then I came across this challenge on YouTube the other day that was called 200 push-ups a day challenge. So I was like, why not? Let's try it, right? So at day 20, I realized I was just increasing my endurance for push-ups, but I wasn't really building any size or stuff. So I started to look into routines, and I found all these like ab routines. So I wasted so much time doing ab routines, which obviously didn't really work out. I was looking for shortcuts, like 5 minute at home ab workout or 2 minute chest workout, stuff like that. But eventually, I kind of got found calisthenics that way on YouTube throughout transformation videos and stuff. And then I was like, yeah, let's try this. And it started working, and I started to look at these skills, and I was like, damn, man, I want to do this. And then I found a new passion because at the time I was slowly, bored with YouTube. I met my ex girlfriend. So life was changing for me rapidly, and I was going through a lot, like positive stuff. I got over my depression. I got a girlfriend. Um, that I unfortunately broke up with, but that doesn't really matter. So I got a girlfriend, I got new friends, I started working out, I started inspiring people. Like life was going really well, and in school at the same time, because I was in a new year doing the same stuff, I was prepared, I knew what was coming, I was in a good place. So I didn't think fitness was the start. I didn't plan to go to the gym or do calisthenics. I kind of came across it, and then that way it helped me to. It was like a emotional outlet for me to let out my feelings and feel good about stuff. And that honestly started shifting towards this obsession and grind that I'm in now. It's just a different story, but it all started with some YouTube videos. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely great. So, I guess going back to kind of like the Instagram thing, like you're
Mm-hmm.
definitely growing. I've seen lots of increasing amounts of like
Yeah, for
followers,
sure.
likes. Has there like, are you like interested in ever like getting a sponsorship with someone or like showing off something with calisthenics?
Right. So honestly, I do have goals within calisthenics, but I never thought about. So let's just say with YouTube, I did have goals like 100K subs, right?
Mm-hmm.
10K subs, and then 100K. I knew I could do it if I persevered, right? But honestly, then I realized that this false reality I was living in, because online for me wasn't healthy. For me personally, like I'm not saying it's not for everyone, but for me, I had an unhealthy relationship with some of the stuff, and I could not skip out on a video. I did 2 years without missing any upload I said I would do. Right, this was driving me insane. I was going to crazy extents to just give up on school to get the videos out on time. Like it wasn't healthy, and I was putting my friendships, I was losing those and stuff. So I kind of gave up on the dream of becoming like a sponsored thing for
Yeah.
a while, because I just decided to do my own thing. But honestly, looking at it now, I'm just doing this for me as a person to grow and inspire something and be the best version of myself. uh, and obviously my definition of the word fitness is shifting all over the place every now and then. But for me now, not necessarily, but I think in the future, if I do get a little bit bigger or stronger, and I get the chance, I'd love to pair up with a company, right? That would be really sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But that's not really the goal right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that could possibly happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So from now, where do you like see yourself going for the
Ooh.
future?
So with calisthenics or with my
Yeah,
life?
like, or I guess with calisthenics, because
Right.
you'll probably keep on doing that because that's like your passion. So like, do you
Yeah.
plan on just like grinding all of that out, or is there going to be like little,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like an ending, right?
yeah,
So calisthenics is based upon skills that you can acquire, but there's also strength aspect and just building a physique, right? Um, But let's say most people that do want to build just a physique go to the gym, because in a way it's easier because you can target different muscles and stuff. Um, but for me, I do care about my physique. I want to weigh a little bit more, and I want to get an all-round strong physique, just a physique that you see in a magazine, right?
Mhm.
Not like a really big buff guy, but just like a lean, slim but like big guy, right?
Yeah.
Just like a healthy, athletic physique. That's one of my goals, for sure, and I'm definitely on the way there. Um, but where do I see myself? Like, I know that I have completely obliterated my own expectations with this. I thought like, oh, I might be able to do one muscle up by the end of like 2018 or something like that, and I could already do a couple. And today I actually broke 10 muscle ups in one set. I posted that on Instagram too. But I'm definitely shooting for the stars, and I'm growing so insanely fast that I honestly, it's hard to imagine where I'll be in a few years.
Mhm.
But if I keep this up and I keep training smart and with the nutrition and stuff at school, I can definitely get to a very good place, and I feel like I can get stronger and or to a bit better place faster than most people due to my knowledge, but also because I don't make excuses, and I push myself to the absolute edge every single workout, and I think that will help me. But where I'd be in, like, let's say 5 years, I do not know, but I think I mastered most of the skills, and I'm pretty sure everything that I do want to accomplish now will be a reality by then, for sure, yeah. And then I'll probably set new goals, and I don't know where I go from there. Maybe I
Yeah.
get into fitness or something. I don't
Mhm.
know.
So you're 18?
Yeah, I'm turning
Yeah.
19 in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then I do know you have a job as well, right?
Yes, so I recently switched jobs. I now work at DHL,
Mhm.
the package company. You probably know that's
Yeah,
in the
I
US
saw
too.
that.
I'm
Uh-huh.
aware. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a worldwide company. So I've been working there for a month now. A couple of times I had some shifts. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing crazy, but it's
Is
pretty
it
cool.
also hard like managing job, school, and then just getting some free time in?
Right, so I'm gonna tell you this one, right? This job actually is nice because it's designed for students that are in college. I didn't know that
That's
even
great.
existed.
That's
So
good.
I don't have any shifts unless I plan them myself. So I could say Tuesday night I can come in for a shift, but Wednesday night I have to study, so I can't come in. And they'll be like, yo, that's fine. I can like tell them when I can come in, and they'll see like, oh, we need you. Let's say I say Monday to Friday I can come in this week. They say, oh, we need you Tuesday and Friday. That's it. The rest you're off, and that's
Oh,
very nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really nice.
it's different every week, so I'd say it's a perfect job to manage
Yeah.
time, because if it doesn't really work out, then I can just say no, or I can
Mhm.
just say I can't. So that's really, yeah, that's no issue with that one. I
Mhm.
really like that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess coming back to the calisthenics, and like when you first started, was it like hard, like keeping, I guess, like eating right and just doing things right, like getting into the whole entire like grind? Cause like where you are, like when you started, isn't how you are now, and you couldn't get there because of that.
Yeah, blocks like
Yeah.
depression, right? Yeah. So for me, I felt depressed, and I was working on myself. I see stuff like depression and breakup that I'm going through now as an opportunity, right? So I
Mhm.
think that there's a certain base level everyone has, and you get this opportunity, and you feel anxiety, you feel depression, you feel failure, and there's two ways to look at this, right? And for me, it's always been the way where I think like, hey, right, this is an opportunity. These are just chemicals in my body that tell me to stop, but that doesn't mean I have to stop, right? So I got to push myself to the next level. That's my mindset, right? So I tell myself like, hey, Sander, you're depressed and your life is going nowhere. Like, you have to change. And then I fell in love with calisthenics, and then for me that was just like an outlet. So if it was just for me to choose, I would be there 8 hours a day working out, because when working out was the only time I felt proud, I felt productive, I felt strong, I felt good about myself, and obviously I didn't know what I was doing. Like, if I look back, I felt like I was stupid, right? Like shitty range of motion, like bad workout structure, no diet, no nothing, no supplements, no anything, right? But in the beginning phases of fitness, you can build muscle with anything. Like if you do 10 push-ups a day and you've never done push-ups, yes, you will build some muscle. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they are too scared to start. People are too scared to start with something because they think like, hey, I need to be motivated. I need to be have a perfect diet. I need the structure. I need supplements. You don't. I never had that, and I made it. I guess you could say, to at least a level where I understand what I'm doing. And it's not motivation that you're seeking. Motivation will come along the way once you start. I think it's more of a like willpower and discipline thing because I was disciplined to go every other day, right? And then every day, right?
Mhm.
And I think that discipline carried through, and then eventually because I was making progress, I found motivation. And then it was easy. Then I loved going. Now I'm going to be completely honest here, like last winter it was shitty, right? It was literally snowing and I was working out in these parks. You might have seen it on Snapchat,
Yeah.
but I was pushing myself to the limit. Like you're sitting nice and cozy inside, and it's like 7 in the morning or 11 at night, and you don't want to go. But I just said like you have to because if you don't work now, in the future you will regret it. And it's this extreme discipline that I gained throughout trial and error that pushed me through. And it's the same discipline that was with me with uploading videos, like I said earlier, that for some reason always comes through and just pushes me. And I think with discipline itself, motivation will come after. Motivation isn't the start of something, it's the side effect of something, right? It's something that comes after you put the work in. And people nowadays tend to say, I'm not motivated. Let me tell you, I'm not motivated either, but I just do what I gotta do, you know?
Mhm.
You gotta put in the work to get the motivation.
Yeah.
It's a reward, right? I
Mhm.
see it as a reward. You can't just get it for nothing. Like, you have to work first, you know?
Yeah.
That's really how I see it.
So you said you're studying nutrition or something? So
Nutrition and dietetics, yeah.
yeah, so with that, like how was it like did you put yourself like through like did you make up your own diets or did you follow something? Because I know definitely eating and gaining is definitely really important for working out and
Yeah,
all of
I'd say
that.
eating is like
Yeah.
70%. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So obviously I was a very skinny boy. Like I said, 140 pounds. That's nothing. That's at 6 foot. That's tall and very skinny. So, um,
Mhm.
I had to eat a lot, but I didn't realize, like as I said, with the running. I mean, if I go out and run 10 miles, you know how many calories I burn, and at the same time, I didn't really eat because I was skinny, so I was literally burning every bit of fat on
Yeah.
my body.
Mhm.
Like I had nothing. So as when I started, you're in a place where you can actually still build muscle in a caloric deficit, and you should at all costs milk that phase, right?
Mhm.
And I'd say even maybe up until the first year, you can. I noticed with myself because I never tracked calories at first. You can build muscle within a maintenance state, right? So you have
Mhm.
a caloric deficit where you burn more than you eat. You have maintenance where you burn as much as you eat, and you have the bulking phase, like the caloric surplus, where you eat more than you burn. So that's obviously what you need to get muscle, like the surplus. But at the start, you don't really need to. All I did realize was, let me tell you, because this is a funny story, right? I realized you need protein, right? And
Mhm.
me being, I wasn't in school for nutrition because I got interested in nutrition because of working out. So that's kind of how it worked out, right? So um, I go to the store and I look at the back of packaging and I'd be like protein, right? Oh, this is too much fat but too little protein. And I'd look like what's the cheapest way? I'd type in on Google like what's the best protein. I would like watch Dutch videos like what stores they go to, you know, and I was like, oh, I know that store, you know. So I would really work on like getting the protein in. But honestly, I'd say if you eat a balanced diet and you eat a lot of variety and you eat meat every day. I'm not suggesting you should eat meat, but let's say you eat with your parents like I do. You
Mhm.
eat meat every night or mostly every night, or you eat some other form of nuts or something, and you drink dairy, like you should be fine because there's a lot of protein in there. For example, if you don't do and you're vegan, honestly, it's just as easy. Just eat a lot of nuts and seeds. But
Mhm.
you gotta make it work for yourself. But just as long as you get the protein in and you eat enough, just eat as much as you can. If you're skinny, just eat. Don't be scared of getting fat because um, it's it's gonna take a lot. There's been periods in my life where I ate 4,000 calories a day for 2 months straight, like tracking it, right? 2 months straight, and I gained 2 or 3 kilos.
Mhm.
Like you have to eat a lot if you're very skinny.
Yeah.
If your base metabolism is good, you have to eat a lot. And some people are, I guess you could say, lucky or unlucky to gain fat really fast. Like I have a friend like that, right? Just eat less or burn more. Like it's that simple. It's a calorie in versus calorie out perspective. Obviously, we can get into extreme details like micronutrients and stuff, but who really cares, right?
Yeah.
For a beginner, like I said, keep it simple. Eat a lot or just work out and don't really look at the eating because if you start building muscle, your maintenance calories will go up because the muscle needs to be fat and your body needs to burn calories to feed the muscle, and the fat will be at the like I said at the start. You can literally do anything. You can literally jump in your backyard and build leg size
Mhm.
because um, the fat will be turned into muscle slowly but surely. So I'd say for beginners, just keep it simple.
Mhm.
That's my best. Keep it simple and just
Yeah.
put in the work. It's more important to train than to find the best supplement or the best protein source because anything will work for you at the start. Let's be real here.
Yeah. Do you have like any like favorite things that like you make and eat like on a daily or like pretty often that just really help you to stay in shape or
Yeah.
just
So
nutrition
I
wise?
So I'm suffering from a thing called IBS. You can look it up. It doesn't really help me with all the products. I can actually eat everything, but some things I tend to avoid because they kind of mess with me. Like,
Mhm.
let's say onions or peppers or something. I kind of try to avoid it, but uh, I just thought I'd point that out because some people might be confused why I don't name certain things. So, quark, I don't know if you know that. It's something I eat like yogurt, that kind of stuff. It's a
Uh-huh.
staple of my diet because it's slow digesting protein, which means if you go to sleep, mostly eat it before bed. It's slowly releasing in portions. It's like a little bit. And let's say you take a whey protein supplement, it's very fast digestible. So let's say if you drink that before a night, 2 hours or later or something, it will be processed, and the quark or yogurt really releases like portions bit by bit. So that really helps. Also, a very thing that I've really recently been eating a lot, like the last couple of months, are nuts and seeds. Those were a game changer for me. A lot of healthy fats that help for joints and skin and stuff, which is good, and obviously high in calories, and just very healthy, and also a lot of protein. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
something and of course meat, and I love my rice. I love rice. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I pasta is nice, but rice is like,
Yeah.
man, dude. It just I love rice and chicken, and
Mhm.
you don't have to go chicken, rice, and broccoli, but sometimes that's nice. I eat a lot of broccoli because I used to hate it and now I like it.
Mhm.
So hey, I eat it, but I eat a lot more than I used to. I was a very
Mhm.
picky eater, and now I just eat most vegetables, and I try to mix it up. And sometimes I just grab a pre-cut bag of vegetables, just with random vegetables in it, and I eat that, or I make a dish with rice or something.
Mhm.
But if you're trying to gain weight, just look for things that are high in calories, and don't be afraid to eat uh, some Oreos from now to then, or get a Big Mac. But I'm saying you should not base your diet around those things,
Mhm.
but you can use them because I'm gonna tell you it's gonna be hard because they say drink 2 liters of water, eat this, and eat healthy like rice and broccoli. You're not gonna make it. There's no way in hell you're gonna eat 4,000 calories of rice. Like that's just too much volume.
Mhm.
So you need to get things that are like less rich in fiber so they digest fast, like candy, something. If that works, I'm not saying eat a bag of candy a day to get your calories, but drinks really work.
Mhm.
Liquid calories, like instead of doing just a smoothie with strawberries, add a banana that's like 100 calories. Add avocado or something. It just
Oh
makes
yeah.
it creamy, but
Mhm.
it's just good calories, right? So you have to be smart. But that's really a staple of my diet. Fruits,
Mhm.
kiwis. I love kiwis.
Kiwis are really
Uh,
good. I have to
yeah,
agree.
those are my favorites. Yeah,
Yeah.
every night I eat a kiwi. So nuts and seeds, and dairy. But
Mhm.
I know dairy kind of fucks me over sometimes, and I know a lot of people are lactose intolerant. But for me, it works, right? A diet is based on what works for you, so you
Mhm.
should definitely keep that in mind. Yeah,
Yeah, going on with the rice. I have a friend that eats rice every day for lunch at school. Yeah.
that works. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have one too. Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
it's kind of a culture thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Um so you kind of touched on this, but do you take any like supplements like before you work out or anything, or like is
right.
that
So I'm
something that
gonna
you
give this
do?
one away, okay? Right?
Yeah.
Because I never like to talk about this. Even my mom doesn't know. My my girlfriend didn't know. My friends don't even know. Right? So let
Mhm.
me let me give this one away to you guys. So okay. So there's a few supplements. Actually, I do take quite a lot of supplements.
Because
Uh,
like
so
I see videos and they're like, okay, before we go to the gym or like just before we work
yeah.
out, like they do
So
like we're gonna take this
supplement.
protein shake or something.
There's a few things I want to touch on first. Supplements are absolutely unnecessary. It's a product that's used for, to make it easier. Like
Mhm.
eating whey protein in the car, like by drinking it, is easier than going home and cooking chicken, right? That's just a fact. It's just like for ease. That's what it's made for, right? And there's a lot of money in the industry, so that's why. So don't get fooled because there's a lot of stupid stuff. I saw the other week I saw a product that was extract from some kind of random tree, and it was just like it had no benefits. It was just like, oh, it's good for the skin and it helps joint recovery and stuff. I'm like, I could say that about anything that has healthy fats.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sell cashew nuts and say, oh, this supplement is like $50, helps joint recovery. Like, so don't get too crazy about the supplements. I'll give you some that I highly recommend that will make a difference and are worth the money. So the biggest one for me is a multivitamin.
Mhm.
That's something I suggest most people take because it does
Yeah.
have health benefits. And I know in the US, actually, a lot of people lack magnesium, which is something I take. So if you do have frequent headaches or muscle cramping, uh, sounds are really loud. I really have the issue when a train drives by or something. It's really loud and it hurts my ears. Or a car, like, someone pushes the
Yeah.
brake, it's really loud for me. So that's due to magnesium, like lack of magnesium.
Oh
So I do
wow.
take magnesium. It does help sleep too. So a lot of people tend to sleep on it very well. I do notice some difference, but not crazy. So I take a multivitamin. I take magnesium. I know like 50% of the people in the US are lacking magnesium, so you should definitely look into that if you are like experiencing some of these symptoms. But magnesium can help, yeah. Just don't take too much because you can like start breathing really heavily. I've had that
Oh.
once. But yeah, magnesium, a multivitamin, fish oil.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
lots of people take fish oil. That's
fish
like
oil.
that's
Yeah,
like daily stuff for lots of people. I know people
yeah,
that take fish oil.
yeah, exactly. So just make sure you take good fish oil and don't like cheap out.
Mhm.
I've been guilty of that. I'm guilty of that. I'm kidding. I just today took cheap fish oil, but I don't have that much money, right?
Mhm.
Um, uh, so fish oil for calisthenics athletes, definitely it's cleared up my skin. Like it really helped with my skin. That's the first thing I know.
Yeah,
And
I think
joints,
that's what
really.
it's kind of aimed
Yeah,
for.
it's for heart. It's actually aimed for heart, like to prevent heart disease. That's
Mm.
cardiovascular disease. That's what it's aimed towards. uh and skin, obviously a lot of girls take it for the skin and stuff like that. But a lot of athletes take it for joints because there's stuff in there that helps the joints, which is personally why I took it. That actually brings me to the next supplement I do take, which is glucosamine sulfate. And glucosamine sulfate is a thing found in bones and ligaments and tendons. uh I should not say bones, I mean tendons and ligaments. And it's it's helped to create connective tissue and stuff like that. So I do take it for my joints because I have very weak joints, and if fish oil works for you, that's great. But for me, it's just not enough, and I really tend to mess up my joints, and I've had bad shoulder injuries and
Mhm.
a lot of elbow pain. So that really helps for me. And then I take, let me see here, fish oil. I do actually also take creatine, which is the most
Yeah.
studied supplement. It's safe. I do not really gain. So what it essentially does, in short, uh, there's a short burst of energy that's produced in your body, right? And that needs to be refueled. And creatine is essentially that fuel. That's the basic explanation. You can look up the whole story, but
Yeah.
uh, that's essentially what it does, and it can make it so you can do a little bit like 1 to 2 more reps or a little bit more weight. Or with calisthenics, it's about explosive strength, so doing like a 2 rep max or like a dash, right?
Mhm.
So with calisthenics, it's a lot of exploding, like muscle up. So it really helped me because I noticed when I wasn't on creatine, some days I trained back on Monday, and then Tuesday I trained chest, but my chest was just like I felt slow and weak without even having trained my chest. So when taking creatine, I didn't really have that problem. You do have to take into account though, creatine takes like 3 weeks to start showing results, and 30% of the people it does not affect. So
Mhm.
before you buy a whole batch and think it's gonna be the magic cure, buy a little bit. It's very cheap. It's honestly very cheap. I bought a kilo for like $20, and you take 3 grams a day or something. There's a lot of people say cycle it and stuff. Fuck that. Don't do it. Just take 2 to 3 grams a day. You should be fine. It doesn't harm you. Just don't overdose. I think it's a max of like 4 or 5 grams a day, but the scoop is like 2 to 3 grams. So just stick to the scoop. Um, and it's very cheap. So buy a little bit, test it out, give it a few weeks, be honest with yourself. If you see results, then use it, and if not, then don't.
Mhm.
But I do have whey protein a little bit left because I wanted to try it. But hey, it's like I said, if you eat meat or nuts or dairy or any other form of protein, it's just a product of ease. And for me, it really messes up. I'd be on the bathroom every time. So a lot of people have that, so see what works for you. You don't need it. You don't need it.
Mhm.
And there's also a bunch of other supplements you wouldn't really need, but there's way too many to go over. But that's really
Yeah.
all I tend to take for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, I
That's really
see
it.
creatine a lot show up on just like athletes and just people like
Yeah, it's really for
yeah.
athletes, honestly.
Mhm.
If you're not that serious and you're trying to build muscle, it doesn't. I mean, yeah, you. Some people say like, oh yeah, I can do 1 more rep, so that extra rep will help me build muscle. But if it's that, like, do you really want to spend that money? Like, if you're
Yeah.
just doing it for fun and stuff, uh, it helps me a ton with energy throughout the day too, because I get drained, and now I don't. It's more of like it used to be like up and down, and now it's more like a
Mhm.
stable line. So it helps me. But that's with a lot of stuff like diet. Like I said, if it helps you, then do it, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't, then it's all personal. Yeah.
Mhm. So supplements don't need them. They're not really necessary for like people out there like
Yeah,
try-
yeah. I'd say some I do take like magnesium for health benefits, but supplements are definitely not necessary. No, not
Mhm.
at all. Because everything found in supplements is actually extracted from foods or plants. So if you eat a wide variety of food, then you should be good. Yeah,
Mhm.
unless you have something like very low iron in your blood, you should supplement with iron. But I'm sure your doctor would have told you if you had issues, you go to the doctor, they'll do a blood test and they'll say, like, hey, listen, man, these issues are caused by low iron, so you should
Yeah.
supplement with iron. But if not, then you should be good with everything. So
Mhm.
eating healthy and just a multivitamin, I'd recommend definitely like that could, it's never wrong to take a
Mhm.
multivitamin, at least unless your doctor obviously says so. Like you always gotta back that up.
Yeah. So you said magnesium was really good for sleep, and sleep's like one of like the number one things that everyone really does need to like just stay healthy. Like, is sleep
Yeah.
hard? Because like I know you got school, and then I see you going to bed sometimes really late because of like your stories and stuff.
Yeah, so sleep is definitely something I've had issues with in the
Mhm.
past due to YouTube. All this like screen time, it kind of
Yeah.
messed with my sleep. I'd go to sleep at like 3 in the morning or something, right? And I'd be typing and playing everything and stuff. So sleep schedule's really messed up. And I know a lot of people that do game a lot tend to say like, "Oh, I have a
Yeah.
sleeping disorder." You don't, man. You just gotta regulate it and there's no magic pill or golden egg that's gonna fix it, right? You gotta have to regulate your sleeping schedule. So, latest I went to bed like the last few months was 12, or
Mhm.
one like special occasion. But I structured it like that, and I never go out of bed later than 10 in the morning. So I'd always be up quite early, but I wasn't satisfied and. Recently, I've been going through a lot, and I needed extreme structure because if your body knows you're going to sleep, it will help put you in the state of sleep, right? So let's
Mhm.
say you go to bed every night at 10. Once it after a month, when it's around 10 or like 9:30, your body will be like, right, we're going to sleep in half an hour, right? So say with brushing your teeth every time before you sleep, once you will eventually your body will be like, right, okay, we're brushing our teeth, I bet we're going to sleep in a bit. So that's why there's night and morning routines that can really help. So
Yeah.
I've set one up for myself. So every night I go to bed at 10 p.m., which is actually in 2 hours already. Jesus. And I mean tonight I'm going out with some friends, but I'd still wake up at 6. Yeah, I'm pushing myself because I know a lot of successful people are waking up early, and early birds, it helps. So I wake up
Mhm.
at 6. Try to aim for 8 hours at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get 9, sometimes I get 7. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I get 5. I'm not gonna lie, but I aim for 8, and most nights I'd say like 90% of the time I do get that. Yeah,
Mhm.
but sleep, you can work out all you want and eat all you want, but if you don't take the rest, nothing is gonna
Yeah,
recover, so you
for
won't make
sure.
progress. It's a triangle, and this time you can't choose two. You gotta choose all three.
Mhm. So I'm sure if you've definitely experienced this before because you used to game a lot, and like you're. I know you don't
Hmm.
really game that much, but
No.
when you were gaming a lot, like you would stay up really late, and
Yeah, for
then
sure.
would you sleep in a lot because like how would
Yeah,
you would
yeah, I would.
put like a routine and then to get back into like a normal sleep schedule?
Yeah, so you're saying like what did I do when I was gaming a
Yeah.
lot?
Or
Like
like
yeah, so
how did you set yourself, because I know it's hard, like you get
yeah,
into
for
this
some
like
people it's
big
hard,
gaming
yeah.
routine. You like go to bed at 3, wake up like at
So
12 p.m., but then
yeah,
school
yeah.
comes and then you have to wake up at 7. Like did you just
Yeah, then the
force
fun is
yourself?
over.
Yeah, did you force yourself? Did you have to like
Right.
cut back
So
hours, or that's
so
what I'm
I'm
asking.
actually helping a friend right now that has the same issue, and
Mhm.
because he doesn't have school right now, he has like a gap year. And I'm helping him, and I've realized that I don't exactly remember what I did, but I started working out more, which got me tired, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know because I'm a person that doesn't need the sleep. Like I can run perfectly fine on a night without sleep. I've never been a person that gets tired. I can sleep 2 hours and be perfectly fine, but I sleep because I realize it has like one of the most important things in life for mental well-being, for muscle recovery. So I sleep, right? I just do
Mhm.
it because it's good. I don't necessarily need it, but hey, I do it, right? You
Yeah.
should never skip on sleep. So helping that friend, I said, hey man, you can't just go from 4 at night to 10 at night.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like there's no way. Like that's too much of a gap. So you got to structure it back. And I think the first thing is you need a routine.
Mm.
The routine really helps because then you force yourself to do actions, uh, and will set your body in a state where you go to sleep. So I know this is hard for a lot of people. Stop using your phone. I know you have the fancy night mode or the screen. I
Yeah.
got this app right now on. It's called F Lux. It's like the yellow on the computer
Mhm.
screen too. It's still light, and you gotta slowly dim the light or at least stop using your phone because it's just distracting you. You should focus on your night routine and get to bed because I know a lot of people. I was guilty as well. I say, oh, I've been trying to sleep. You've not. You're on your phone. That's not what's
Yeah.
trying to sleep is like, right? I'm being very real with you all, right? Uh, being trying to go to sleep is brushing your teeth, reading a book, turning off the light, and laying down with your eyes closed. It's not with the light on, skipping brushing your teeth, no routine, and just sitting on your phone watching YouTube until you pass out, because that's what I've done for years.
Yeah, I've
And trust me,
definitely have done that as well.
yeah,
Definitely
I
for
know,
sure.
trust me, we all, but
Mhm.
with going to school, I was exhausted. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
kind of have backs,
Mhm.
but Jesus, I was
Yeah.
in class, I'd like kind of like pass
Oh yeah.
out, and like I saw a thing the other day that said, how can you expect to deliver the best if you show up late? Like let's say we have a let's say this podcast, right? How can I be mentally clear if I'm late here? I'd be rushing, I'd be not ready. Same with sleeping, right? Let's
Uh
say
huh.
you didn't sleep well. How can you expect to do well on the test because you're still behind? You're still like trying to sleep, right?
Oh yeah.
You gotta be ready. So, see sleeping as a tool. It's and once you actually start sleeping better, I love sleep, dude.
Mhm.
I used to hate it, but now it's
Yeah.
like I wake up, I'm vibrant, I feel happy. I'm like, yes,
Mhm.
a good 8 hours. And I used to be like, oh no, sleep. I'd rather watch YouTube and play
Yeah.
video games with my friends. Yeah, but you have to prioritize sleep, and it does mean you gotta give up gaming with your friends
Mhm.
from the other side of the world at 4 at night. But what's really more important, longevity and mental health, or gaming with your friends? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like priorities have to be set, and I think the best way to get into the sleep schedule, to get back to that, is create a routine, stick to the routine at all costs, and stop using your phone or computer screen.
Yeah.
At least something up close, because it's just, if your brain sees light, it means it's daytime. It's gonna keep you up. So
Yeah.
you gotta trick your body into thinking you're gonna sleep.
Mhm.
And magnesium might help for you, or all these other. I see a lot of people taking sleeping pills. You don't need that if you have a routine, and you're not special. I don't care who you are, but you don't have a special sleeping disorder. You're just not being honest with yourself. And I know what you're seeing, because I was there too. I was like, oh yeah, I have a sleeping disorder.
Mhm.
I did not. I was just gaming
Yeah.
every night,
Mhm.
and I wasn't seeing the bigger picture. I wasn't seeing that that does affect me, until I tried it and I realized it does affect me,
Mhm.
and it does affect you too. And you should cut back, because it's gonna drive you insane, and it's not healthy to run on a few hours of sleep every night, because you're gonna be moody, you're gonna be cloudy in your head, and it's
Yeah.
not gonna work out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cause I like summer was definitely the time where I would definitely stay up like till like 3,
Yeah.
but then school came around and then like it kind of just kept with me. So like there's just those
It's a routine.
days, yeah. But then like I was like I have to stop this, and like at first I was like, oh my gosh, I could have like sleep insomnia, but like no, like you said, you have to be honest with yourself. So then setting that special routine definitely helped, because now it's like getting the full 8 hours of sleep that your body really needs, and then you like wake up and you feel like great
You
because you're
feel
ready.
alive
Yeah.
instead of dying. Yeah, I
Mhm.
know it.
Yeah.
You probably don't. We all know the
Yeah,
feeling where
I
you wake up
have
after.
that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the feeling where you go to bed, and a few hours later you woke up because you game too late and you have to go to school, and you're like, am I dying, or am
Yeah.
I already dead? You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So what you're saying is like, that's the thing with people. They're telling their. I have a guy in my school. He drinks a lot of energy drinks with a lot of caffeine, right?
Oh
He's
yeah.
saying I have a sleeping disorder, and he's studying this stuff, right? So I'm like, people don't see the bigger picture, and I think it's time to be real with yourself,
Yeah.
guys. Like, you are gaming too much, and you need to cut it back, because
Mhm.
you can game all day, but like at night there should be a limit. You should go to sleep. And I don't care if the people around you are making poor decisions, but if they are all dropping out of high school to smoke weed, you're not going to either. So why are if they're all gaming at night and you should sleep, why wouldn't you sleep?
Mhm.
Like, that's the same thing. It's just it doesn't. People should not justify not sleeping for playing video games, and that's something I've done for years,
Yeah.
and I've learned from, and I felt it, and I felt the difference. And trust me, you will thank me or Kaylee later, because it changes your life.
Yeah, it
The eight
it
hours.
does. It does.
Yeah.
Cuz I remember when I
So
was like I'll be fine. like getting these like
Yeah,
3 hours, I'll be fine, I'm ready. But
exactly.
it takes a toll on you, and then it could lead to like even worse problems.
For sure. So tell me about your night routine. Like, what do you do for?
So before, I guess, just starting like when I was gaming, like staying up till 3 a.m. and then sleeping until like 12. And it was like
Hmm.
bad because I know like too much sleep isn't like that good
Yeah,
for
that
you.
that actually backfires too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think also lots of people think like, "Oh, I'm getting like these 12-hour night like sleep." And I'm like, that's probably not the best for you if you keep on doing that cuz it just
Yeah.
makes
Let
you
me
more
let me just
tired.
quickly say, if you heard people, I have a friend right now that I'm helping, and he said, yeah, but if I sleep from 4 and I sleep 8 hours, I still get
Mhm.
my 8 hours. It's just
Yeah.
later in the day. I'm like, yeah, but your biological system doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
When it's daylight outside, you should not sleep, because
Mhm.
that's telling your brain like, yeah, I should sleep during the day and be awake during the night. I remember in some vacations, because I have a lot of American friends, and I literally live in your time zone, like six
Yeah.
hours behind, because I was always talking to them, and when they went to bed, I went to bed. But if they go to bed at 12, I'd go to bed at 6 in the morning, like, and then I'd wake up 8 hours later, so that would be, you know, I would wake up end of the day, and I'd have dinner, but that was kind of like breakfast, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And my parents were always mad. They were like, "What are you doing? Like, this is no way healthy. Like, you gotta be real with yourself." Yeah, for sure. And I feel like a lot of people say, uh, I still get 8 hours, but you gotta get 8 hours at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So how did you do that? How did you?
it definitely took me a while because I was still on that summer schedule, just like
Yeah, you
thinking,
gotta break the habit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I would always be used to just like getting up and feeling like so exhausted, but I was like, it's just gonna keep on going and going. But then, like,
Mhm.
finally, I was like, you gotta stop this because it's not helping you. Like, even like you got tests coming up, and it's
Yeah.
just not gonna help you
It's the
for the
worst.
yeah. So, I started just like starting early because I would start like maybe at like 10:30, which would be like what time I should go to bed. But then
Mhm.
like it'll keep on going, and then it'll be like 2 a.m. I'm still up watching a YouTube video or something. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm tired, and like that would be my usual time to get off like on a summer night. And I would
Mhm.
just go to sleep, but then like I only get like 5 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
and
No.
it's just
No.
like I can't do that. So then I just started cutting it back, like just getting off at like 8 or something, or like 9, and then just not not being on the computer or whatever,
Yeah, that
and then
helps.
just slowly cutting down. And yeah, and then I'm like going to bed right now at like 10:30, like that's when I actually go to bed. And
Mhm.
yeah, so it's definitely helped just like starting
I
early
feel
instead of on time, like.
Yeah, I feel like it's a process for sure,
Mhm.
because you can't just say like, I mean, I tried to, right? I'm saying
Mhm.
like 6 a.m. tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I mean, you gotta, your body takes a few weeks to adjust, so
Yeah, it took a
you
while
got.
to adjust to the whole entire
So
like
I tell my friend, okay, listen, I don't care who you are, where you are, or what your excuse is. You're gonna be up at 8 in the morning, and you're going to bed at 12 at night. And I
mhm.
know you want to go to night at 4, but here's the thing, here's the trick. If you really want to be hard on yourself, you wake up, you remove all the alarms, you stop the snooze button, just remove it, right? And put an alarm at 8 on the other side of your room. So you have to get up, right?
Yeah.
And then here's what you're gonna do, right? I don't care what time you go to bed. You do you. But you're gonna get up at 8. And eventually, what my friend did, he said, "Man, I get so tired because I don't sleep enough because I get up at
Mhm.
8." I said, "Exactly. So here's what you're gonna do: try to sleep earlier." And then he went to bed at like 10 or 12 or something, and he realized, "Hey, this is nice. Now I feel energetic."
Mhm.
Like, exactly. So then people learn it the right way. They learn it themselves. You have to. I feel like you have to see for yourself and truly believe it, if you know
Mhm.
what I mean, right?
Yeah. I also think that my trip to Europe really helped because we would start the day really early, go
Mhm.
sightseeing, do lots of different activities, and then we would get back to our hotel. and like everyone would be exhausted. They're just ready
Yeah,
to
you get
like just
exhausted.
collapse. So I definitely think doing good activities like that um
Sports
just
helps,
yeah
yeah.
just helps tires you out, and then you just get that really good night's rest of sleep. Because I remember going to bed like before everyone else who I was sharing a room with went to bed, because like it was just tiring.
Hmm.
And then you get that full 8 hours of sleep, because we would get up at like 7:30 because we had to like get
Yeah,
the bus at 8 and all that.
for sure. And I feel like to add on top of that is uh, I've been up since 6, right? And it's 8. So it's been a long time since I've been up. And I look forward to going to bed at
Mhm.
10 because I know that it's a routine and it doesn't matter like what you do, but I highly recommend like sports and tiring.
Yeah.
You know what's tiring? Sitting in a chair all day. That gets
Mm.
you tired, but that's not real tired. That's just being like you know?
Yeah.
But if you really go outside and go for a, like you have I'm not sure how to describe it. There's like two different ways of tired. Like my friend, he always lays in bed. He says, "Oh, I'm so tired," and he sleeps like 12 hours a day, right?
Mhm.
He's like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I wake up and I'm watching movies because I'm so tired to get out of bed, and then fall asleep again." You're not tired. You're like mentally tired. You're
Yeah,
bored,
that's
right?
mental. Mhm.
And then you also have tired, whereas you, like you said in Europe, you when you went to Europe, you walk all day,
Mhm.
and you're like, now my feet are tired, and that
Yeah.
those nights are the best. You
Mhm.
get the best sleep ever.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I said to come back to that in the start. It helped really for me as I started working out because it was just tiring. I just
Mhm.
felt tired, and especially when I work out at night. Um, I get tired. And there's one thing I'd like to add. There's one amazing piece of advice I've got for everyone. Never shower before you go to bed. Never shower an hour before you go to bed because a shower is water and your body legit thinks like you're gonna drown because you're like wet and you wake up. It's like a wake up thing. Like I
Mhm.
know some people shower every day and shower every night. Just shower earlier or something, but don't shower. My friend says I know, joke. It's funny that I keep coming back to this friend, but he does like all the bad things for some reason, right? He said, "Yeah, I shower an hour long before I go to bed." I'm
Wow.
like, man, that's like I'm saying, all right, you have to go to bed. I'm gonna throw you in the pool first. Well, now you're awake. Time to
Mhm.
sleep. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
gonna have to. You're gonna have to not shower. Shower in the morning to wake up,
Mhm.
or like let's shower at 8 and go to bed at 10 or something.
Mhm.
But I stopped showering before I go to bed unless I really can't do anything else. But I'd say my sleeping routine is pretty good, so I can take the hit. But if you're just starting out, try it. It might work for you.
Mhm. So I guess to end out the podcast here for I guess one last topic.
Hmm.
You mentioned this a while back ago, but you've dislocated your shoulder
Yes.
before. So I
Yeah.
guess this topic could be like injury, because I have that down. But like, how did that injury like set you back, and like, are there still things today that you have to just like kind of cut back because it's just too much? Because haven't you done that 2 times? You
Yeah.
dislocated your shoulder two
Four
times.
times.
Oh,
No,
okay.
three times. 3 times
Because
actually.
I remember like you were like that was definitely another rough point. Because I saw on your Instagram like you were just like really taking
Yeah.
it easy when you were wanting to just get out there and do what you usually do.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple of things to this. Injury happened before I worked out. So I mean, I started kind of, right? Like I was
Mhm.
in the phase of like YouTube
Yeah,
videos,
I
watching
remember
them.
you made a full video about you dislocating your shoulder.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was the second or third time because then I was serious about it. But so for those of you who do not know, my arm popped out of its socket because I did like a flip, but somebody held my arm, so my
Uh.
whole body rotated. So
Oh.
that's kind of the picture you have to get. So that's how it happened the first time. And then actually, like there's this like joint, right? It's like this, right? This is your arm. This is the bone of your arm, and this is the shoulder, right? And there's a dent, so which means that it would be like this. So it's really easy for this to slip out.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Or there's a dent in this. One of the two, for me at least. That's what's happened to me,
Mhm.
and it will never go away. So because of the dent, let's say it could like really easily slip out, and that's how it was easy for me to dislocate it again. And then when I was doing some like explosive push-up stuff, as I caught myself, my shoulder like
Oh,
went
yeah,
backward,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, it happened again, and the ambulance be called. Honestly, still to this day, I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night because it traumatized me. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
It definitely had a crazy impact on me, and every time I go to that place, it kind of feels like
Yeah.
it gives me the chills for sure.
Mhm.
And I think there's a couple of things that, in a way, I'm thankful for it because it changed my life. Because I have never been to hospitals before, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I was so scared. Like I was so scared. This was like I remember texting someone like, I don't know what to do if I need surgery. I'm going to pass out. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
I can't take that. I'm just so scared. And then luckily never had to take surgery, but I had to take an MRI, and I was legit. I think I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure I cried back then, and because I'm also fuck, what's that called?
Emotional.
Uh, no, no, with the
Oh.
small rooms, the phobia. Oh,
Claustrophobic.
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 Yes, there we go. I was looking for the word, but I have that to some extent.
Mhm.
So it really scared me back then, and it really had an impact on me. And my mom has the same, and she was there with me, so she didn't really know how to call me because she felt the same anxiety.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
was I was a 17-year-old guy. I didn't know what to do. I was going through a lot in my life, and
Mhm.
uh, yeah, so yeah, it definitely has an impact on me, and it still really scares me, even though it's a year
Mhm.
ago. And I think that it realized that at the time, it made me realize that you have to be thankful for what you have, guys. Like you might take walking for granted. You might I love to hang from a pull-up bar and do a pull-up. At that time, every single day, I had my arm like this in a sling. I couldn't open a door. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't shower properly. Like, then suddenly life is like so much different, and you gotta appreciate different things. I appreciated at the time where I could take my arm out and put it beside me. Now it's like you're like taking stuff for granted because it's always been that way, and I think it has showed me to live life with a handicap for some time because I had to have my arm in a sling for almost 2 months, and I think that has shown me that life with this handicap, life is different, right? Life is different with a handicap, and now today I take so much more care. Like my warm ups can be 15 to 20 minutes specific stuff, and
Yeah.
it has shown me that I have to appreciate what I have and make sure I don't lose what I have. Because if this were to happen again, I'd go crazy. Because when you're
Mhm.
so passionate about something, when you love someone, when you care about someone or something, and it gets taken from you, that's it. That's when it hurts. That's when realization hits with certain things, right? Let's say you lose your mom, you lose your ability to play your favorite sport, you lose your boyfriend. I don't care what it is, but those kind of things fuck you up. Like I don't care who you are, how strong you are, it's gonna mess with you. It's gonna create anxiety, and you're gonna have to face that, and you're gonna have to overcome it. And for me, with my shoulder, I couldn't do the thing that was keeping me emotionally stable because, like I said before, for me, the calisthenics really is and was an outlet of anger, anxiety, happiness too, and not being able to out myself and being stuck when all my friends are working out. I'd still go to the field with them. I'd still be there, but I couldn't do anything. So it was really hard for me to out myself. I think as you push beyond those barriers and appreciate what you do have, I was like, right, I can't move this arm, but hey, I can walk. Like there's people
Mhm.
out there that can't even walk.
Yeah.
I don't feel constant pain, and there's people out there that do. So I'm gonna appreciate what I have, and from that point forward, I realized like every day I wake up, I'm gonna be thankful for that I did not lose my arm, for example, because
Mhm.
then life would have been a whole different story. And I think, sorry if I get very passionate here, but I
No.
think it's just
It's
very
fine.
it's very important that you appreciate what you have,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
that's a very important thing, and um, no matter how tough you are and what you've been through, if you lose something, someone, it's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you hard, whether you decide to leave it behind or it gets taken from you or someone leaves you. Either way, it's the same with relationships. It's the same with friendships. It's the same with body stuff like handicaps and stuff. It's gonna come as a surprise, and even if it doesn't, it's gonna sting, and you're gonna
Mhm.
have to go through it. And you're not alone. And definitely, if you need help, you can find me on Twitter, and I'll be glad to help you guys out. But um, you're not alone, and you're gonna have to push through this, and you'll come out stronger. But
Yeah.
you're gonna have to hang in there and appreciate what you do have, right? Because you might lose your mom, but you still have your dad. You might lose your your cat, but you still have your friends, right? You still have friends, you still have food, and you still have a roof above your head. So learn
Mhm.
to appreciate what you do have, because there's always other people out there that don't have it
Yeah.
as you mean they would be glad to trade spots with you. So yeah, appreciate what you have, guys. That's my more that's the thing I'm trying to tell you here. And definitely keep going, guys.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone out there should just be very thankful for like what they have, and then just like
Hmm.
everything, exactly what you said, just be thankful for who you have, what you have, and
Yeah,
yeah.
especially with stuff like social media,
Mhm.
people tend to look at other people, and for those of you who are not aware, it like a week, like a detox kind of thing to quickly look at that. And I realized that a lot of people compare themselves, and they they want more and stuff, but people create problems that are not really problems. If your problem really is that you don't get more likes than your friend, there's people out there that don't have food. Like,
Mhm.
that's what really cut to my mind. And I'm not a person that is like, oh, we should save the world, but like I was like worrying about what person A or B was gonna think. I was worrying about what uh, my friends were gonna think. I was worrying about how my uh, I don't know, my mom would perceive stuff. Let's be real here. You gotta do what you gotta do, and you gotta be passionate about it. And if you injure yourself and you are emotional, be emotional. But do what you gotta do. Feel, just feel the way you want to feel, but don't don't just create problems that are not like a problem for you might not be a problem for everyone else. Like I tend to always say like, hey, personally this is a big issue in my life, but I understand. I also keep in the back of my mind that there's people out there that would love to trade spots with me because I've got a house, I've got parents that pay food for me, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm lucky. Like I get to go to
Yeah.
school, I get to talk to you on the computer because I have a computer, right? And um I think there's a limit as to where social media should be, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, for
Like
sure. Mhm.
like social media and YouTube, like you might see me on YouTube being happy, or BlueFierceGaming, the channel, be like, oh, she's growing, she must be happy, but that's not always how it works, right?
Mhm.
Like we are people too. We might feel unhappy, we might feel emotional, but there's a lot of people we don't even know out there that have it way worse. So you gotta appreciate what you have. And I
Yeah.
realized that my biggest problem in life was subgrowth, and other
Yeah.
people's their biggest thing was their parents both dying of diseases in Africa. And I was like, there's a big difference, and you need to understand that you gotta not complain too much about your situation. Complaining is fine, but there's a limit. And
Mhm.
recently, to touch on that very quickly, I was like, yeah, man, I feel for these people on the other side of the world that are struggling, you know.
Mhm.
And so I decided to donate money to a charity like monthly from now on, because there's this charity. I think it's about saving children, right? I
Yeah.
think I'm not sure if it's like across the world, but I was like, man, I saw their commercial and I was touched. I was like, these kids get used for human trafficking and stuff because their parents are dead and they live on the street and they can't take care of themselves. I mean, they're 5, 6 years old, right?
Mhm.
So as I recently learned that I got to be less selfish and got to understand that there's people out there that have worse that are worse off than us. So that's why I decided to donate.
Mhm.
So
That's
sometimes you
great
gotta,
though.
yeah, you gotta see the bigger picture,
Mhm.
guys, and that's something I failed to do in the past. And I think it's important to you with anything. Like,
Mhm.
gotta be real with yourself. Like with the sleep, with the working out. Don't overcomplicate it. Just do you and be real with yourself
Yeah.
and work on yourself. Really, that's the gist, right?
Uh-huh.
Of this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm. So I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this first session of the
For
podcast.
sure.
So I
Yeah.
just want to thank you so much for coming out here and just
No
sharing
problem.
everything. So
Yeah, it
yeah.
was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to do it again. It's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I just like to say very quickly that if someone out there is going through something, if you need help, or if you are not sure about something that I said or anything, I'm pretty sure BlueFierceGaming can
Yep.
link
I
my
will link everything
Twitter.
down in the description.
Just shoot me DM on Twitter.
Yep.
You're not alone. I got you. Right.
Mhm. Yep.
So I'm very active on Twitter still. So if you need
Mhm.
help, then make sure to let me know. So yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, this ends out
Yes.
the podcast. Thank you
Yes.
everyone for listening, and yeah,
For sure.
thank you.